Nigel Hayes. This is quite an unusual situation for you, isn't it? Because it can't be many times when you sit down with another man who is better looking, more charming,
Yep.
more popular. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Quietly confident.
I don't know how to feel, if you know what I'm saying. I wondered whether I should do some mental research. And I didn't know really what to research because I've never really thought about my life. I've just gone... Maybe because I'm an actor, you're always thinking of the future, not really thinking on the past. So this is going to be really interesting.
You are known as the charmer, on and off screen. I mean, do you consider yourself to be a charmer?
Yes. I mean, I try to be, because I think that's the way forward. I think it's best... You know, we live a certain amount of time, which isn't very long if you think about it in the scale of things, and I think a duty... Really, I've always thought my duty is to be as nice to people as I possibly can be, really.
But you've been an actor for over 50 years. It does prompt the question, because you're extremely youthful, obviously. How old are you?
I've lied about my age pretty much all the way through my life, yes.
That's why I'm curious as to whether you can finally fathom the truth to actually tell me the honest answer.
To begin with, I made myself older, which is a bit stupid, I know.
Why?
Well, I was going out with a girlfriend who was slightly older than me, but she thought she was younger. So I actually changed my passport.
I think that's punishable with 2 years in jail.
Is it? That would be interesting.
Just trying to rack up how many crimes we can get to by the end of the show.
Be about 10 years.
And when did you start lying about your age the conventional way, i.e.
Being younger?
Yes.
I don't know. Sort of a few years later, you know, I started going the other way.
How old are you?
I'm 65.
You get a point for honesty early in the interviews. This is a good sign.
Yeah.
You'd still get saucy fan mail. You were sent a drawing by a Coronation Street viewer. Rather explicit drawing of you and a woman together in bed.
Yes. That was very
From a Corrie fan.
I know. I used to get quite a lot of Corrie.
Suggesting that you would...
Yeah.
What?
Sort of meet up and, you know, get it together.
And were you, you know, on one level, were you horrified at this sort of forward approach by these women, or on the other hand, thinking, I'm 65, get in there?
I was so delighted. I just thought, you know, that's the best thing possibly happen.
Let's turn to something happier. Your voice recently topped a poll as the one that passengers would find most reassuring on a flight. You beat Sean Connery, Hugh Grant, Stephen Fry and Joanna Lumley.
No.
You are the most reassuring voice a plane passenger could ever hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We're cruising at 39,000 feet. Unfortunately, we've lost all engines. Don't panic. I'm with you.
Now, Nigel, you're one of the country's best-loved actors, and your life has also had its fair share of drama.
I went into this place, this psychiatric hospital. It's odd, isn't it? What, you can get yourself into such a corner. But, you know, I only have myself to blame, really.
Describe to me what was going through your mind then.
I couldn't speak anymore. I found difficulty speaking to anybody. Not just chatting, just speaking about anything.
There was, of course, the irony. There you are, the big TV love rat.
Yeah.
The charmer.
Yeah.
And here you are, to the public, looking like you're exactly the same in real life. Yeah. How did you get into this?
I fell head over heels in love with Polly, I think. And I think, what can you do about it? It's sort of a roller coaster.
But you weren't out of love with your wife?
No, but I wasn't. She was the most wonderful, wonderful woman. And I don't know, it's just... I don't know what people do. I'm never going to go through that again. I wanted to have them both, is really what I'm saying. It's a terrible thing to say, isn't it? I could have...
Well, it's an honest thing to say.
Yeah, Monday to Wednesday.
Did you ever suggest this to...
I don't think it would have gone down very well.
No.
No.
You said you felt suicidal at one stage. Was that true?
Yep. I thought
you just thought the easiest thing to do would be to kill yourself.
There was other... upsetting Caro, upsetting Polly, or not upsetting any of them. Well, of course, that would upset them both, probably, but... or that. So that was in the equation. Very, very dark moment, that, isn't it? I've never really thought about it. Never really talked about it. I've never talked about this to anybody, actually.
You had a little girl with Carol.
Yeah.
She was still very young.
Very young.
At the time.
Yeah.
It must have been heart-wrenching.
Heart-wrenching.
Did you ever doubt that you'd made the right decision?
Actually, no, I didn't. Again, because I don't look back, I just went forward.
Caro died from pneumonia in 2011.
Yes. We were all there, I mean...
Right.
I just couldn't believe it. Just like that. She had this cough, you know, and she was in London, and I said, you go and see my doctor. So she did. And she came back 10 days later, it was slightly worse, and within 10 days. It was just... I can't imagine. Terrible.
Did she ever forgive you, do you think?
She did forgive me.
And told you that?
Yes.
That must have been a great moment for you.
She did, during that period. And I wondered whether she knew she was dying. But she said, don't worry about me, you know, I do forgive you, I do love you.
How did that make you feel?
I felt a bit of a shit, really, because I put her through all that. But we did speak a hell of a lot. I mean, never a week went by that I didn't ring her, all through my life. So she was very important to me. She was a great person.
Let's go back right to the start of your life. You were born Nigel Allen Havers in London in 1951, raised in Suffolk. Your father was Michael, a prominent lawyer. Your mum's Carol, older brother called Philip. Now, you're from legal royalty. Your family's one of the most eminent legal families in the country.
Well, yes, I know that my grandfather was a High Court judge.
Wasn't he involved in the Ruth Ellis case?
He did. He
was the last person to be hanged in this country.
Yes, he was the judge at that trial.
I mean, amazing sort of piece of history, really.
Yes. And then he wrote to the Home Secretary and said, this woman must not be hanged. My brother has the letter, and the Home Secretary at the time ignored that. And then there was my dad, who was a QC and then became Lord Chancellor. And my brother is a very eminent QC. And then my aunt is Elizabeth Butler Sloss, who was the head of the family division for years, and the most fantastic woman. She's really wonderful. And then there's me.
Now, you're not just plain old Nigel Havers. You have a title.
If you can call it a title. I mean, my father became Lord Chancellor, and because of that, his sons are given the title of the Honourable. And as he handed it to me, he said, nothing honourable about you. So that was charming. So, yes...
So you're the Honourable Nigel Havers?
I am, but, I mean, no, not as if I'm going to say, hello, the Ivy, can I book a table? Yes, it's the Honourable Nigel Havers. I don't think I'll be doing that.
When have you used that title to get yourself out of trouble?
Are you going to tell me I've used it?
Yes.
Oh, damn. I was just about to say I never used it in my life.
You used it with the American police once.
Oh, I did. You know... This was a pretty shocking story, really. I was with my agent and friend, Russ Lister, in Los Angeles, and we'd had a few bevies, you know, as one does, and I thought, I'm fine to drive home. Stupid thing to do, of course.
So you were drunk?
I'm being honest, yeah, I was a bit. And a police car obviously came behind me, and I didn't notice that, because you don't see the lights. I was doing 35 miles an hour, and he suddenly pulled me over, and said, where are you going? Have you been drinking? And I said, actually, I've had a couple of bevies some time ago, and I'm going home now. And he said, oh, you're English? And I said, yes. Do you have any identification? And I said, yes. And I pulled out my passport, and on it, it has the passport, the Right Honourable Nigel Havers. And he went, oh, my God, are you the son of a lord? And I said, yes. He said, get on your way, sir.